Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I was expecting it to. I was expecting to have to film the video like this, but as you may or may not know, I have been doing a 75 books in 75 days challenge since September, and we're currently at the end of that challenge, which I'm actually quite happy about. I'm not gonna lie, just because the last couple of weeks have been very stressful with a lot of pressure and stuff, but I'm proud because I have done it, I've completed it, and I definitely could not have done it without all of your support. Again, we have been doing this challenge, but also audiobooks was my brand while I was doing this challenge, but unfortunately I waited too long to upload week 9 and week 10, and I obviously went to go and edit them along with week 11 because I have been trying to extend my content throughout November as much as I can, and my footage has corrupted for those weeks. I think it might be the SD card that I was using. Lucky enough, thank goodness, all the Bookmas videos I have already filmed was on a different SD card, but I don't know what it was. I'm actually really sad about it because I had a lot of footage. But anyway, so I thought, so that we can all keep up to date with what I have been reading for the past 3 weeks, I will just give you a quick rundown of what I read during week 9, 10 and 11. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so during week 9 on Monday, I read Kill for Me, Kill for You. This one, I felt like it was really interesting. It kept my attention. I was definitely surprised by it, and the twists and turns in it was very shocking. But I did feel like it lost me in the middle part of the book a little bit. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. And then on Tuesday, I read The Worst Best Man. I'm not going to go too much into this one because one, I am going to try and implement into another video that I already had planned. I had already been filming, but I'm going to have to refilm an update clip or something. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that one too much because you will get more details about that in another video, but I did really enjoy this one. I love the enemies to lovers romance. I felt like it was done so well, and you actually generally felt the dislike between the characters, and it was nice to go from the dislike to the likeness of the characters where they start to like each other. Then on Wednesday I read Bloodstream, which again I'm not going to go into too much detail with because this one is for another video as well, which again I'm gonna have to refilm the clip for. But I was definitely kind of disappointed by this book. I really thought I was going to like it, but one of the main things that really threw me off with this one was the third person. It was written in third person, and it made me feel very disconnected from the characters, and third person always does, and that is why I'm not a big fan of third person. I try and avoid it. That was one of the things that I didn't like about it. I also feel you didn't really get to know the characters well, and I don't know if that was because of the third person or something else. I'm not too sure, but I don't know, I just felt I did feel very disconnected from the characters, and that was a big problem for me. And the pace of the book, I felt things happened way too quickly. Sometimes I like a little bit of a slow burn. I'm not saying it has to be right at the end of the book until they get together and all that stuff, but I felt that everything happened way too quickly. I would have liked a little bit of tension, you know? And then on Thursday, I read City of Glass, which is the third book in the Immortal Instruments. And I'm not going to talk about this one too much just because it is the third book in a series. But this was a 4.5. Absolutely love the series. I am still shocked with how much I enjoy the series because I have been putting it off for so long, and I've read the first and second a while ago, so I'm still putting it off even though I'm loving it. There isn't really a reason for it. It's just sometimes I have to be in the mood for fantasy, and recently I've been reading a lot of it. But I really love this series and I'd highly recommend, and I can't wait to continue the series. On Friday I read The It Girl. This one I have been wanting to read for a while. I had a really bad urge to read it in the summer of 2024, but I just never got round to it at the time because I was filming a video. I had so much time before I went on holiday, and then I didn't get to it, and then when I came back the mood to read it had gone, so it took me a while to pick it back up. But obviously with me doing this challenge and I was choosing options, what book do I want to read next, I was why not? I fancy a mystery thriller, why not? And this one was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I read By a Thread by Lucy Score, and with this one I felt the pacing for the characters' feelings was really all over the place and unexpected. 1 minute they could really dislike each other, and then the next they're attracted to each other. It's all over the place, and it kind of threw me off a bit. It was a little bit weird to me, but I did enjoy the enemies to lovers, Grumpy Sunshine, the workplace romance, pure Lucy Score style, a slow burn. I did enjoy that. It took a little bit of time for things to start to happen, but I feel like the pacing did throw me off a little bit. I think I said that was Saturday's book. And then on Sunday I read Watching You, which has been on my TBR for a very long time, and I don't know why I was putting it off for so long. There was no reason for it, but the book did seem to be more on the slower side of things. I did find it hard to get into until right into the end of the book, and that is when things started to pick up. I started to become interested. Then for week 10, Monday, I read The Dixon Rule. This one I'm not going to talk too much about either because it is for another video. And then Tuesday I moved straight into The Charlie Method because I thought while I'm in like the mood to finish this series, I'm going to. And then on Wednesday I read Body Check by Elle Kennedy. This was a nice, quick, easy read, and I did enjoy my time reading this. Then on Thursday I read Bad Blood, and on Friday All In. I decided to finish this series because I was really enjoying my read of this series, and that's why I was trying to drag it out a little bit throughout the 75 Weeks to 75 Days challenge, so that I wasn't just reading it all in one go because I didn't want it to end. And I really enjoy this series. If you haven't read it yet, I would highly recommend, because this series I have been heard like recommended everywhere, and I kept putting it off for no reason at all. Please don't do what I did because this was so good. So if you are into like mystery thriller type stuff, this would be definitely for you. But yeah, it was so good. And then on Saturday I read The Wrong Mr. Right. I decided to continue on with the series because I really enjoyed the first book, which was That Kind of Guy or something like that. It was like a, you know, nice fun easy read. I wanted to read The Wrong Mr. Right during summer because that's what it kind of gives off, but obviously with me doing this challenge I wanted like a quick romance easy read, and like the first one, it was enjoyable. I really enjoyed the character development and just the development in general with the romance. And then obviously for Sunday I continued on with that series with In Your Dreams Holden Rhodes, and again really enjoyed the characters, the development. This was just a nice easy romance to read, and obviously that is what I was looking for. So then going into week 11, on Monday I continued on with that series by reading Finn Rhodes Forever, and in general overall I really enjoyed this series. They was all nice easy quick reads with great characters, great character development, and the plots of the stories was always very interesting. And then on Tuesday I read Ride With Me, and this one was a very enjoyable read. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Then on Wednesday I read Under Lock and Key, and I've read from this author before and really enjoyed the other books like The Nanny for example, and I think the other one's called, I can't remember what the second one's called, but I've enjoyed their books before. This one I enjoyed as well. It was a nice quick easy read, but I did feel like there was a middle part in the book that did feel like it like slowed down a little bit, but otherwise I would recommend it. It was a good read and it was different from what I normally read as well. Then on Thursday I read A Close Protection. Now this one I kind of went into blind. I've heard a few other people talking about it. I didn't realise, I can't remember if I knew this as I was buying it, but going into it I completely forgot that it's YA. So when I was like reading it, it just gave off the YA vibes and it really threw me off, and I found it hard to enjoy just because personally for me YA isn't for me anymore, and also the pacing of the book felt like really slow and it took a very long time to like get into things. So this one personally I feel like wasn't for me. I'm thinking like rating it like a 2-star. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. And then on the last day, Friday, I read Hate Mail. With this one, it has great, I mean it does have great characters and it is very quick to read and very easy to read. So those are all the books that I read during the past 3 weeks. Thank you all so much for joining me along with this journey of reading 75 books in 75 days. It was a wild ride. Would I recommend it? No. I would not recommend this just because it can be very stressful. It's not worth it. Read your physical TBR at your own pace. I know we all have our problem with overconsumption of our physical TBR, but we will get to it eventually. The good thing is in my every book I have on my physical TBR video, I ended up having 174 books. During the challenge I ended up buying 6 books because it was fall. I wanted specific fall books. So then that rounded me up to 180. With all the books that I read, 75 plus all the extra ones that I read, I'm now down to 75 books on my physical TBR. I must say I don't plan to do a challenge like this for a very long time, or like a big challenge like this. I was thinking of every month doing it like a small version of like a week during a month, reading a book every single day, because that's easier, just to help myself get down the other 75 books that I have on my physical TBR, but I must say I can't remember the last time I had a physical TBR this low. Yes, there's still a lot of books on it, but better than like the 200 or something I've been sitting on for a while. So I'm happy with where I'm at with my physical TBR. Don't plan to buy any more anytime soon, although I might possibly be getting some for Christmas, but that is different, and my birthday, but that is completely different because I'm not buying any, but I don't plan to buy any for a long time, so hopefully it won't go up much more. But like I said, I'm going to keep doing mini challenges like that just to keep track and keep up with a low physical TBR. But otherwise, don't plan to do a big challenge like this for a while because I need a break. I need time to like read the books I want, because I during this challenge I did get out of my slump, but then near the end I felt the slumping harder than the beginning of my challenge, which is why I did the challenge in the first place. So it just proves reading too much doesn't help. It can just send you backwards. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave this emoji if you're watching to the end, and hope to see you on my next one. Bye.